And I'm next going to ask for Greg Adair to speak, please.
I've never given a speech. I wrote some stuff. It's going to be real short. I have the honor of being here on behalf of the group Friends of Yosemite Valley. And the Friends break with that idea. This effort and what brings us here today has been an unprecedented collective effort in the climbing community. There are literally hundreds of people to thank, many of whom have been involved with the Friends. I have a list, and I'm going to try and name some people. My friend Dave, the American Alpine Club, Linda McMillan. It's going to get scattered, isn't it? Lynn Bomford, Dick Blaine, of course, Yvonne Chenard, all the good folks at Patagonia, John Wasson, John Sterling, Chris McNamara, my friend Joyce Eden deserves special thanks, Garrett Weiss, John Ely, Ron Kauk, many, many others. Let's leave it at that. They're little. Here's an autobiography of the conservationist David Brower. David signed this yesterday. And another book. I'll just let Tom read it. And we're also sending him a check in the mail. I really appreciate it so much.
I don't know who Craig's pal is here. Some guy.
Many of you have seen this article in Climbing Magazine, but we think it was particularly fitting. It's a well-done brief biography of Tom, and on behalf of the Colorado Mountain Club and a number of us climbers in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and hello Coloradoans, we would like to present this beautifully framed picture of the March 15th issue of Climbing Magazine, which is a story about Tom going over the top. As far as I can tell from seeing how fit he is, he's far from over the top. And Tom, we from Colorado, for one, especially want to thank you for the magnificent work you've done out here on the Camp 4 project, and best wishes to finishing it all the way. And congratulations, and thank you so very, very much.
Weird to have to follow that. I was asked, and I'll try to be brief, to discuss, I think, what the National Historical Register is and what I learned out of it and what I think we got out of it. And I think out of this process of arguing about whether Camp 4 was in the Historic Register, the most important thing we were able to do was to deal with the lies that have been told about the people in Camp 4. In going through the literature of Camp 4, I've seen in writing the following calumnies. They're hedonistic. Look it up, it's a bad word. Either unwilling to work or unemployable. Unfair. Rambling, wandering lifestyles. And I think the cruelest of all, the kind of guys that are dumped by their girlfriends. But through this process, we've been able to bury these lies. The Historic Register is really a fascinating thing. As America gets more and more populated and there's more and more development, the idea was developed in Congress that there's got to be a way to figure out what is historically significant, what is our heartland, what are our roots. And let's make an inventory, and let's use that inventory to take reckoning as we move forward and destroy our heritage. And in order to get on the register, you've got to be quote unquote historic. And it's a funny word. I mean, but it can be historic locally, as obviously Camp 4 is, and it can be historic regionally, as obviously it is to all Northern California climbers. But what was fascinating about Camp 4 is when you really looked at it, it was historic nationally for sure. I mean, the invitations for this party went out 3 weeks ago. And I know that there are people here from Nevada, Maryland, New Jersey, Washington, Colorado.
But if you have a chance after the festivities here to take a look at it, it has a wonderful grouping of scenes of Camp 4 then and now. And a lot of the people, especially the dignitaries here, have signed it. So we would like to, from the Sierra Nevada section, present this to Joyce and Tom Frost.
Sure. 2 minutes.
Okay, I'd just like to say a little bit about something that's happened in recent years. I've been climbing for quite a few years, and in the 50s and 60s, and through part of the 70s, there was one of the climbers that are a part of our group up here that was very impressive and did many of the first ascents and pioneering, especially here in Yosemite. And after many years of climbing, he began to slowly fade out and lose some interest and got into the middle age thing and pretty much quit climbing. And after about 25 years of being out of climbing, he came back and began to climb in Yosemite and various other places. And I met him in Yosemite about 2 years ago. In Camp 4, they said, "Oh, there's this old timer from your era." And I'm still climbing pretty much every weekend, but doing 5s, 6s, and 7s. And so I thought, well, who is this? And I went over there and ran into this guy, and it was amazing. He was going up and doing El Cap. He did the nose, the west face, lurking fear, the NA. He was doing Sec South A and Half Dome, all of these various routes, and it was one of the most incredible things I'd seen him climbing. I climb every weekend, have done so for most of my life, and I couldn't get up the things that he was doing without a rope boy. He was my son, and I was just amazed. It was one of the most astounding things, and that is, most of you know this story, but those of you don't, it was somebody who was staying in Camp 4, and they hid him away in the rescue site and kind of took care of him, and he became very impressed by the conditions in Camp 4 and so forth, and realized the plight of everything, and that was Tom Frost.